Hello, today we are going to look at how to write a haiku, but first we are going to look at one of my favorite haikus, and here it is in my journal. My storehouse burnt down. Now nothing stands between me and the moon above. That was by Mizuta Masahide, who was a Japanese poet and samurai in the 17th century, which is Edo period Japan, and he studied under Matsuo Basho, who was another very famous Japanese poet. It is said that Matsuo Basho, who was Mizuta Masahide's mentor, highly praised this haiku. And I really can feel why, because for me it encapsulates the spirit of positive thinking. It really reframes something negative and puts a positive twist on it. That's really zen, and I love that way of thinking. Let me read it for you one more time. Here it is. My storehouse burnt down. Now nothing stands between me and the moon above. It is really just fantastic. So, without further ado, let's look at how to write a haiku. Hello and welcome to Simple English with me, your teacher, Callum Hems. I want to tell you that there are 5 things that you need to write a haiku. And the first one is a seasonal word. In Japanese, this would be called a kigo. So this means a word that reminds us of a season. In our example haiku, we can see that we have the word moon. I don't personally know if the Japanese would include this as a kigo, because it's not strictly speaking a seasonal word, which reminds us of summer, winter, spring, or autumn. But it is a word which reminds us of nature. So we do have a very important seasonal word, or word which reminds us of nature, in the haiku. Other examples of this might be mountain, leaves, flowers, a bird, the sun, snow, and so on. So the second thing is that we need the haiku to be in the present tense. Now, if we look at our example haiku from Mizuta Masahide, then we'll see that the first line is actually in the past tense. My storehouse burnt down. However, the rest of the haiku, lines 2 and 3, are indeed in the present tense. Now nothing stands between me and the moon above. Stands is in the present tense. I really think that this gives us a great feeling of moving from the past to the present moment. My storehouse burnt down in the past, but now we're moving to the present situation and saying, now I can see the moon, which makes that leap into the positive thinking. So I really feel that this movement from past to present really adds to the haiku. But I think that most haikus can be written in the present tense, or must have at least one sentence, one line in the present tense. So the third thing I want to tell you about is probably what most of you are here for, and that is the actual structure of the haiku. So it goes like this: 5, 7, 5. What do I mean by that? Well, we have 3 lines, and the first line is made up of 5 syllables. The second line is made up of 7 syllables, and the third line is made up of 5 syllables again. So we have this beautiful structure: 575, which makes the form seem incredibly poetic, and I believe that is why it is so successful. And number 4 is that the haiku doesn't actually have to rhyme. So if we look at our example haiku, my storehouse burnt down. Now nothing stands between me and the moon above. It's beautiful, and I think it's beautiful because it's so concise and because we have that 575 form. So we don't actually need it to rhyme. I think that the rhyming here could actually make a haiku sound more childish than it needs to be. Some haikus do rhyme, of course, but we don't have to force the rhyme. I think that the impact of a haiku is behind the meaning. And number 5, I want to tell you that a lot of haikus have what we call run-on sentences. This is when the meaning of a sentence doesn't finish on one line, it continues onto another line. So let's have a look at our example haiku. My storehouse burnt down. Well, yes, that is a finished meaning, but let's jump to line 2. Now nothing stands between me. So here we have a run-on sentence because line 3 starts with and the moon above. So we do have a run-on sentence. That's where one sentence takes up more than one line. At this point you could well stop the video and go and write your own haiku, but before you do that, I want to give you some practice. So I'm going to give you a haiku by Matsuo Basho, the mentor of Mizuta Masahide. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to blank out some of the words, and I want you to guess what words can fit in the blanks. So, are you ready? Here we go. Blank obscures the way. There is blank I can do. I blank on and on. I would advise you to pause the video here and think about it. And if you need some clues, I want you to count the syllables in the lines. Blank obscures the way. Obscures the way, which means that the blank is only one syllable long. Also, to give you a clue here, it should be the seasonal word, okay? And then we have, there is blank I can do. So again, there is blank I can do. We know that there should be 7 syllables in this line. So you need a word with 7 syllables. And then we have I blank on and on. I love the repetition here, on and on. But our word, I blank on and on. So we've got 4, we need 5. So we know our missing word is only 1 syllable. So I'm going to give you the answer now. Pause if you don't need it. Here we go. Fog obscures the way. There is nothing I can do. I walk on and on. I really love this haiku because it really creates that image of walking through some forest land in the fog and being at a loss for direction, but just continuing in a really hopeful manner. So if you want more inspiration for haikus, check out this video from Red Frost Motivation. I'm going to put it in the card right here. I think all of these haikus are absolutely fantastic, and as I watched this video I was so inspired and awed by the meaning in all of them. And I want to ask you to write your haiku in the comments below. Here's one of mine. Baby lies in bed, clutching an empty bottle. Headache tomorrow. Leave your comments. I wonder if you like my haiku. Can you figure out who the baby in the haiku was? That's the question of the day. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this comment. And if you want to really dive deep into haikus, here are some books that you could purchase. You've got Zen Poetry, Let the Spring Breeze Enter, and you've also got Japanese Death Poems. These are both really fascinating reads if you're interested in Japanese literature and haikus. I'll leave the links in the description below. And here is a video of me breaking down Shakespeare's famous sonnet, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? I really get deep into the meaning. And here is a recommended video from my channel. So stay motivated and keep learning English, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.